So SPXs, what's happening in the market is big funds are buying more and more SPXs. This is how they hedge. This is how they make more money. They also they do the Russell and all that stuff too, but not to the level that they do this. Okay. So what does that mean? So you have three types of SPXs, and I understand I explained this for a lot of people yesterday, but a lot of people are still asking again, saying, "Hey, can you do it again, Sam? You want pretty fast." I do go fast. Okay. But ask questions. If you have questions, go ahead and ask questions. Okay. So you have three types of SPXs, and see, people don't know this. They don't tell you this. You have the weeklies. Those weeklies trade Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If there's a holiday, they'll trade on a Tuesday or Thursday, and they expire that day. Okay? So, but those are used as a different way of trading. A lot of day traders like us, we use those SPXs. The funds basically use a lot of the monthlies. So they'll go by September's, and they go by October's, they buy November's, they buy December's, etc. Okay? So there's a level of funds that are buying those. And then they have quarterlies, and there's a lot of funds that do this. They say, hey, this is what we expect for the next quarter. Those expire at the end of the month, okay, every quarter, so it's end of September. So there's a whole bunch of volume on those. So when they start saying, hey, there's, 3 trillion in volume on SPXs, it's not necessarily true. There's 3 trillion total, okay? And 1.3 trillion, 1.3 trillion was on this weekly's expiration, okay? So now how can you hedge? Now, if you have SPXs, so let's say a fund has written of these. Remember, a lot of funds write these. Let me tell you, if you go out there and you look at the 3,600 and 3,700 puts, there's volume on them. So let's say, there's 1,000 contracts. So if you're a fund and somebody wrote those, let's say they wrote them a month ago, right? And $10. If they do 100 of them, they take in, 100 grand, right? So they're taking in money. They're selling them. So when they sell them, you have risk. Say the market starts going down. You have risk. So you have to hedge. You have to buy the other one. So they're not going to go buy those. If they sold them at 10 and they're 30, they're not going to go pay 30 and buy them back. They're going to go buy the weeklies. So then volume starts picking up on the weeklies, right? Because they pay less premium. Okay? Now, here's the thing. You don't want to pay premium. So if you sold them for 10, okay, and you have liability, and it's still a long way away from there, you may say at some point, I'm going to start shorting the SPX. So and they have algos that do this. You have the entire SPX basket of all 500 stocks. So they put in a sell order and they say, oh, market's going down, we're going to sell them. So they sell them. So they shorted the stock. So as the stocks go down, say that Apple is in there, and Apple goes down $5, they make $5 on the short. They lose some money on the SPXs they have themselves, because let's say they sold them at 10, they're 11 now, right? So they lost $1 there. But it's if you take the average of all those 500 stocks, that's the SPX. That's the number you get. So if it goes down 3, then all those stocks you've made 3 points on it, right? So very straightforward. That drives the market lower. But now if they've written, say, the 3,600, it only gets to 4, they made money. And then the premium will come lower because there's less time on the other one. So then they made money on the SPX short also. Okay? One way. Next way, they go in there, and because they took in premium, they go short the ES. which is the futures. Well, the ES, there's no such thing as premium. It settles tick per tick. Every tick is 25 cents. It's tick per tick. So what that means is now they make money there, even though they lose the money on the other side on the SPXs. So now they've covered themselves. Okay? When everybody has covered themselves, then there's less risk, right? If a long short fund that say they do 3% in a bad year, 12% in a good year, it doesn't matter if the market goes up 1,000,000 points, they only do 12% because they're hedged that way. That's all they can do. They can't do anymore, right? And they can't lose anything. They can't do any worse than 3%. I mean, this is how you set this stuff up with all these algos and all this, right? I mean, that's one of the guys I was talking to. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, for years and years and years, he's between 3 and 6. I mean, 3 and 12%. Never does bad, never does good. But they just hedge, 100% hedged on everything. So when you're completely hedged, you have no risk. So if you have no risk, you're fine. You're just sitting there. You're kind of waiting. Okay? So that's what's going on with SPX. But now you have all this open interest out there, and people have to close them up. So everybody's waiting for these things. So basically, then you go, people looking at charts or whatever they're doing. It doesn't matter how you do it. Or you know all the numbers or whatever, and you know this 50-day moving average is coming. Well, every time the SPX gets near the 50-day moving average, it rips 50 handles. It just does. Now, maybe this time it breaks, and maybe we collapse. But for the last 2, 3, 4 years, every time it hits the 50-day, we pop 50 handles. Well, yesterday, we opened down. Like I said, we should open down. And then if it goes positive, it's going to rip. And we buy these options on the downside. Boom, we sell them right away. Why did we sell them? Because it didn't break and get near the 50-day. It should have got near it. It didn't. So it popped back positive. Boom, immediately bought calls. Because they don't have risk to the downside. Okay? Doesn't mean it doesn't go down. Just means that if it's going down, they don't care. They're not losing nothing. And if it goes up, they're just eating the premium, right? So then they're net even. So then what happens is we start going up, and our 4 goes to 8. Well, Sam's like, well, 4 to 8, nice fast double, let's boom, take it. Then it goes to 6, then it goes to 12, then it goes to 15, then it goes to 20, then it goes 25, then it goes to 30, or 28. It's a grand slam. It was a grand slam. Now, meanwhile, we buy Google. Why did we buy Google? Because we bought Google because of Amazon. This is really interesting, okay? Very interesting. We bought Google because of Amazon. Well, Amazon hit 34.08. The last time it hit 34.08, it closed at 34.72. Look at where it closed, 34.75. And I said in the room right away, I said, if it does the same thing and the SPX bounces, takes off. People were buying the 3500s at $2. They went to like 13. Very nice. But here's the thing. Google didn't go lower. Google was down for 2 reasons. 2 reasons. And I think you guys know what those reasons are. Okay? Google was down. It started down 3 weeks ago when it came out and they said, oh my God, government's going to do another antitrust. So it dropped 20. Then it dropped 30. And it hasn't come back. But then there's a number, 2882. The day Apple announced their Epic deal, where they said, oh my God, you got to change your pricing on the store and allow in-app purchases. Well, Google has an app store. So they're going to have to do the same thing. So it dropped. But it started at 2882. And it was way down at 2830. So as soon as it started to move up, we knew if it starts going, it's going to go to 28.82. 5 went to 20, we sold them. Sold them 22. Amazing, right? Amazing. Can't even make this up. They went higher. They went to 27. Okay? Interesting, interesting. So that's what we know. That's what we know. Okay? On the SPX is one other thing. The monthly SPXs go out European style. If you want to learn about European style, go Google European style options. Okay? What European style options are is you take the opening price on Friday, so you have 500 stocks in the SPX. You take the opening price, the first print. So let's say Apple's in the S&P. But let's say Apple is at 50 to 50.25, and then all of a sudden the first trade of the day is 149. They use 149 to calculate the SPX, so it's a manipulated close. Because if somebody goes in there and says, "Hey, I want the SPX lower on that opening print," which is what they're going to get, they take all 500 SPX stocks and they put sell orders in on them, and they trade down a point. If everything in the SPX trades down a point, your SPX is going to open down 10 or 15. And then the next trade is up, they're going to say, then I want to buy it right back instantaneously. So that second print is right back up. But they drove the SPX down. The European style index opened lower. And then it goes right back up within a second. That's why you see SPX move huge in the first seconds on a Friday, on expiration day. Okay? Very, very interesting. This is what happens. So now what happens today? Today is very, very simple. If we break back down through this 48.60, then you have 48.50, you have 40, sorry. You have 44.60, then you have this 44.30 that's a number, and you have 44.26. If that comes, you will be down 100 handles that fast. If it goes up, we're down, 4 or 5 handles SPX right now, right? 4 or 5, I don't know, I was thinking something like that, maybe 7. There it is, it's 12, heading lower now, 12. If the buy is real, you should go positive within the first 10 minutes on the SPX. If we go positive, then we're going to run, and you're going to go to 45.52 by tomorrow. They're going to buy the heck out of it. If we don't go positive, they may take everything right back down. Okay? Right back down to that 50-day that everybody knows that every time it hits, it goes up 50 points. So don't know. So watch for this 44.60. Okay? Now, Google closed over 28.82, but here's the thing. There are numbers, and the numbers matter. But just like I say, news trumps everything. News trumps your charts, news trumps your numbers. Okay? Here's the next thing. Buy programs and sell programs trump everything. They even trump news. It doesn't matter if Moderna comes out and says, if you take this vaccine, you'll never get an infection the rest of your life. Doesn't matter. Because if there's a sell program that executes and they're in that sell program, it will crater. It doesn't mean it doesn't come right back 2 minutes after when that sell program's over. It just will go down. So you got to see if a sell program comes up here. Okay? Then we see and then we see. Okay? Individual stocks today. Tesla looks very good. If it takes out this 756 and it tried to 762. A huge number, then we see and then we see. Google, I actually like Google here at the open. If we open lower and we reverse back up, it's going to rip. I would love Google to pop down to 28.70 right off the bat. We go right back into the 2880s at $3 and pops to 2900. But to do that, you would need the market to go positive. I'm not positive that we go up. I'm not positive we go down. So we're just sitting there. You're just waiting. You're just waiting. Okay, let's go to Moderna. Okay, so reasons why the market is wrong. It doesn't think for itself. It needs some clown analysts, both sides, to say something. This guy comes out 4 weeks ago on Moderna, and he says, these are all, he said on all the vaccines. He says, these stocks are not even worth 25%. He's shorting the heck out of them. Well, he didn't say he was shorting. We don't know if his firm did or not, okay? He's shorting it all. And his thesis was, this is a one-year event. They do not have reoccurring revenue, and nobody will take shots again after this year. And we said, yeah, he's bogus, garbage. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So now yesterday, Moderna, after the close, puts out a report. This report is as bullish a report as I've ever seen. This stock should be up 30 points right now. It's not, but it should be up 30 points. It may go 30. We'll see. Okay? So what did they say? They said after 8 months, the vaccine wanes. So that means you have a chance of getting infected. The chance you're 95% or whatever they say that their thing is immunized for 8 months, but after 8 months you're only like 70%. So they say if you take another shot, then you go back up to 95%. So why wouldn't everybody take a shot? So after 12 months, they have. I think it even goes lower. So at some point, maybe 15 months, you're not immunized at all. So what are people going to do? Every year they're going to take a shot. Is it 1 shot, 2 shots, booster? Don't know. But that means Moderna is going to make money every single year by giving more shots. The shots don't go away. But that guy's whole thesis just went to shit. So, and this is where CNBC is just it's a joke. These people get paid. They're just jokers. Okay? Because all you have to do is you call up that guy and say, you came on our network and you took the stocks down. You took Moderna down 150 points. What's your thesis now that they say this? Are people still never going to take the shot again? Why not ask him? You watch. If he comes out and he says, hey, I'm changing my thesis, Moderna's going to be up at 600. Now, he's not going to do that because these people, they're talking their book. They're talking their book. They're not talking anything else. Okay? Then we see. Tesla, Kathy Wood selling Tesla. But here's the thing, you guys, people don't understand. Why is Kathy Wood selling Tesla? I mean, this is very simple. Because it went up. If you have a fund and you say, I can only have 5% of my money in Tesla every quarter. So if you have $1 billion, or say you have $1 million, you can put 5%. You can own 5% of Tesla. So you have $50,000 in Tesla. Tesla goes from 700 or 670 to 750. It goes up 750, it goes up 70 points. Now your 5% is worth 7%. You have to sell 2% by the end of the month. That's all she's doing. People don't understand that. She's not going to tell you that. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Omid, what do you got, buddy? Hope you guys all understood that. If you have questions, type them in.
Yeah, a couple of things. So first, on the SPXS stuff, we highlight these events because there's going to be volatility around it. I don't know, like I said yesterday, whether this is going to resolve in up or down or sideways, but you just have to be aware of it. And maybe if you want to be prudent, just be smaller and, because you may get whipped around and you don't know. So, the technicalities of it, I personally think it's like different scenario each expiration, right? So, hard to kind of try to understand what they're doing, and you try to trade according to that, right? That's not an easy thing to do. So, anyways, we'll see what happens today. Down 10 is not that bad. See if we come back. See if this SPX roll is over, and then the market is going to start focusing on the rebalance. Rebalance shouldn't be a negative effect. It's late day Friday type action, right? So the expiration, I don't know, so we'll see. And on the vaccines, so I don't know. I may be wrong, but they pulled forward a lot of performance. I mean, these things like Moderna, for example, was at 100 in the summer. Now it's like near 450 or 430. So I guess it can go higher, but I just think it's kind of oscillating here. So we'll see what happens. Not want to get into that debate whether people are going to take these shots, forever or not, but at the end of the day, again, lots of things priced in those, I think. JP Morgan is bailing on the Macau casino stocks. Looks like China keeps hammering on those, so Wynn and Las Vegas Sands and a few others, I think seeing some more pressure. So see what happens. And then Beyond Meat looks like got a downgrade to sell, but we're not really involved in it. And then I think so, is there an analyst? I think there's an analyst that made a $90 call on Apple. It's like shorting it. So I haven't really read the report. I don't know. It's New Street Research. I don't really know them, but interesting target, from here. So. And the Kathy Wood thing on Tesla, it has no impact her selling on. I mean, it trades enough volume, right? And she's probably taking profit and allocating money to some other stuff, right? So,
at the beginning of the quarter, the stock was around 600, Omid, so it's up to 750. You have to sell a part of it. You just do, right? If Omid has $1 million, we don't know how much Omid had. He just has diamonds and gold, so who knows? But if he has $1 million in an account and his wife says you can't own more than 5% of anything, and they've reached this agreement, if it goes to 10%, he has to sell 5% by the end of the month or end of the quarter, whenever their agreement is, right? I mean, and that's what Kathy's doing. It's that simple, right? But today, what you want to do is you want to watch this Amazon and Google right off the bat. If those, and I think they're both going to pop positive. I don't know if they stay positive, but if they pop positive and stay positive, the market will come right back. It'll come roaring back. That being said, if it takes out this 44.60, which is 20 points down, if it takes that out, you're going to test back to that 50-day where everybody wants to get back in. And it gives you an opportunity, right? It gives us an opportunity. Markets up, markets down, give us an opportunity. Look at this win. Win was at 95. Could have just bought puts and let them go. Okay, one other thing. And we'll get Omid any more opinions on from Omid in a minute. One more thing. Why did Sam sell the SPX calls yesterday at a double? Yeah, I made 60K, but why did he sell it instead of hold it? Come on, somebody knows this answer. Somebody knows this answer. Nobody's typing anything because he didn't know. Because what Sam said yesterday on the call, he said at any minute of any day, these last 2 days, because the humongous, gigantic SPX vol that's out there on the short-dated ones, that SPX can go up or down 20 points on any minute, within a minute. So let's say your SPXs, you bought them at 3 and they're at 13. If you go to the bathroom and and Jesus, some of you guys are good at going to the bathroom. You can do it in 10 seconds. And you come back, your SPX, it could be 3 again, and then they could be 0. Within a 5-minute range, you could be down. Let's say you're up $5,000, you could be down $5,000. Well, that's the market you're in today. If you're in that market, do you not take doubles fast and roll up? This can happen, and it will happen to you. And the day that happens to you, you're going to freak out. I'm telling you. You're going to be up 20 points on the SPX, and then it's going to be 0 within a minute. So have your goals and what you're trying to accomplish ready. Okay? Be ready. Then we see, and then we see. I'm telling you, but it can go down, it can go up too. We've seen what happens in the last 5 minutes on the SPX up, and it moves 35 handles up or 35 handles down. Well, when you're on one side of it and you're saying, oh my God, this is great, I just made 35 points. Think about the guy that was on the other side, that he was 35 points higher, where there's 35 points in the puts, and they went to 0 because it popped up. Same thing can happen to you. That's why we sold. That's why you take your 60 grand, you roll, and you take that money and you put it into Google, and you make 15 points on Google. And you sell that position at the end of the day. Why? Let me tell you, on an ordinary day, I would not have sold my Google. But I sold my Google because of all this SPX stuff. Okay? Hope all that makes sense. Wow. What else you got, Omid? Anything else?
It's pretty quiet headline-wise. You get retail sales coming up shortly. See if the last period was a bit weak, so see what happens there. And really, I mean, this is again all about Friday, so we'll see.
So that we recorded all that. So go back and listen. I hope you understand. If you have questions, we can discuss. Okay, thanks everybody. Good morning, everybody. 9:16. Stocks go up, stocks go down. IronNet, IRNT. They are squeezing the heck out of this thing. This is cybersecurity. Does it really take off? This one looks like it can go. Keep an eye on it. Now it can drop 50% in 5 minutes. Okay? Interesting. Then we see. SPX down 10 to 12, but Amazon's not down a lot. So then we see. Okay? SPXs for tomorrow. I'm pretty convinced it's going to move 50 handles. It's going to move 50 handles, up or down, from bottom to top. Then we see, and then we see. So we'll see. But right now, it's too expensive. It's ridiculously expensive, both sides. So just wait. LRCX needs 616. Underneath 602 bad. NVIDIA needs 231, but NVIDIA is not going to really move till what date? October 10th. EU is going to approve or disapprove their thing on October 10th. So just wait. And I think that stock moves 20 points minimum on or around October 10th. Okay? PANW went down on a huge upgrade. So now this thing may be done for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay? Not in it. So let's see. Goldman Sachs. It popped on Monday? Tuesday. Yeah, Monday. Tuesday. It popped huge to 416 and instantaneously went negative. Okay? So now, if it gets going through 406, it's back to 416. We see underneath is 391. Snow continues to go. It's strong. It's just holding. But it's not moving a lot. And it's become unplayable from the aspect of 10 points out of the money or $3. Well, it doesn't move more than 10 points a day. So how do you pay $3? WID working lower, 81.79. NOW, back on the screen. Keep an eye on this. 654, 662. Shop, doing nothing. 1509 up, 1421 down. NVAX, 236. CMG had an up. It moved up it moved down a lot, but it finally moved up yesterday, first up day. Now it's up 6 or 7. Didn't see an upgrade. Don't know what's out there. We'll see. This is intriguing. The 1900s at 3, no more than 3. Okay, at the open, we'll see. Amazon, watch this one early. If it goes positive and takes out 34.82, can take a run. It needs the market to move positive. UPST, 281, 286. Apple, 152, 156, underneath 146 bad. Netflix, 586, 591. BNTX. So BNTX is down 4. Moderna is up 2. What do we say? When these things are down, they go up. When they're up, they go down. Okay, so let's keep an eye on it. The news on Moderna is stunningly good. That thing should be up 30. But people don't think like Sam. They don't think like, well, they just told you you need another shot. That's more money for them. Doesn't matter if you believe it or not. We'll see. I believe there's a meeting tomorrow that starts tomorrow. I don't think you get the news till next week on the booster and the outside firm telling you, do you need it, do you not need it? I don't know. But that's coming. Add next week's. MDB sitting right there, 521, 542. Underneath is 461. Roku just sitting there, can't go up, can't go down, just doing nothing. Then we see. Google, very straightforward. If it takes out this 2900, it can run, but it needs the market. Tesla, see if it takes out 756 early. Then we see. We talked about that IronNet, Amazon only down 10. You described this rebalance, right, but not exactly sure what it is and cause the effect. So usually when there's an SPX rebalance, I don't think this is an SPX rebalance. Don't know exactly what's going on here, but we'll take a look. SPX, when there's a rebalance, they say to calculate the index, we're going to use this percentage, this of all these different stocks. So that means if they're buying some stocks, the index itself, and they're selling some stocks. So anybody that mirrors that index has to do the same thing. Okay? UPST said 280, 281, 282 next, right off the net. Google, numbers not really relevant till 2900. Okay? SPX minis are one side. Facebook moving with Google, yes sir. Facebook, Wall Street Journal is pounding Facebook. Okay, so just know that. I carry my phone to the bathroom. Nice, thank you. Too much information. There we go. Does Evergrande bankruptcy affect it? I don't know. It looks like China is just doing stuff to destroy people and stuff. That's okay. They're a communist country. They can do what they want. That's what they do is what they see. SIBO is delisting standard size futures on SPX by end of day. Only E-mini futures will be available going forward, what is announced on the 4th. I don't know how that affects it. So see, the difference with Sam is if Sam doesn't know, he tells you he doesn't know. I mean, these people on CNBC tell you that, oh, well, I'll give you my opinion. What good is my opinion if I don't know, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, a lot of stuff on the call today. Hope everybody has a good trading day. See you in chat.